All right, I know we're just sort of banging around this topic of privacy and security, and just kind of finding our way with it. So I just wanted to go over here a couple of things. Like I wanted to list in detail some of the places where we share information and lose information. So emails is a place that a lot of people don't necessarily think about. Email is not private. Email is not private. So never send anything in email which is confidential. Never send a username in an email, never send a password in an email, never send credit card information in an email, never send your social security number in an email. There are a variety of pieces of information about you which are critical pieces of information. And those pieces of information be like your social security number. Don't share that with anybody. Or be very circumspect about who you share that with. Be careful about who you share that with. Your employer is going to want it so that they can tell the United States government how much they've been paying you, and that's an appropriate use of that. But when you go to a doctor's office or things like that, maybe just put down the last four digits and ask them if that's okay. So the point being, social security number is critical information, date of birth, mother's maiden last name, those types of things. You want to be really circumspect about who you share those kinds of things with. The point being here is emails are not private, so be careful what you send via email. And it's one place we lose information. Social networks like Facebook's another place we share information, videos, phone calls, again, not private, so cell phones, and who knows whether or not landlines are or are not, because I don't have clarity on that. But that's another place we share information and could be lost. Credit cards keep track of everything we purchase, right? So that's a company that knows really a lot about you if if you use a credit card to buy things. So that's another place we use and lose information. Frequent flyer clubs, so like with airlines, but also not just airlines, like Vons and things like that. That's another place we lose information about ourselves. So if we're going to Safeway and using our Safeway card or Vons or whatever store we happen to shop at, or whatever type of loyalty rewards program it is, another place we lose information. Websites, right, when we fill out forms online, another place. Web browsing behavior, yet again, another place where we lose information and share information about who we are. So it's all being tracked, or you are being tracked, which is another way to know that. And this is all known as data collection. And the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, the National Security Agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, the FBI, they are all interested in having as much information as they can about people. And there used to be an organization called the IAO. And the IAO stands for the Information Awareness Office. And it was established by DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, in January 2002. And focused on applying surveillance and information technology to track and monitor terrorists and other asymmetric threats to the U.S. by achieving total information awareness. That was their stated goal. On November 14, 2002, New York Times published a column in which it claimed that the total information awareness thing, TIA, total information awareness, had been given a budget of $200 million to create computer dossiers on 300 million Americans. Kind of interesting. Finally, the last thing I want to show you here is the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution is part of the Bill of Rights that prohibits unreasonable searches and seizures and requires any warrant to be judicially sanctioned and supported by probable cause. And so that's our Fourth Amendment right as guaranteed by the United States Constitution, and it gives us privacy, right? So people need to have a warrant to look into our private lives. But more and more, kind of what we're seeing is that this privacy, who knows how well we're respecting the Fourth Amendment, or if it's I'm not a legal expert, but right, we lose a lot of information in our lives. And it's just something to know about when we're looking at privacy, that you have this right, protected by the United States Constitution, to privacy, but how much you're actually being protected, I don't know. That's an issue for speculation or for you to look into if you're curious about it. But what we do know is that we certainly do lose a lot of information, and that there's a lot of information being gathered out there by a lot of different organizations. So that's just interesting to know about.